It's new helmet day. It's new helmet day. Well, it's not that new. I already have bug guts all over it. Stay tuned. Learn about my new helmet. Welcome to Go Far with Brent. I'm Brent. Thank you for tuning in today. I have a new product to show off. This is my new HJC helmet. Like I said in the intro, it's not that new. I have been using it for a couple of months. It already has bug guts on it, Florida bug guts nonetheless, from when I flew down there and rented a bike for a weekend. Anyway, it is the HJC RPHA 91. So it's a modular helmet. In the United States, it is FMVSS 218, so DOT approved. Outside of the United States, it is ECE certified, but the versions that are sold in the United States are only DOT. I'm going to move the camera up a little closer, and we'll take a closer look at it. All right, here's the helmet a little bit closer. This is the HJC RPHA 91. So there's the designation. Like I said in the intro or earlier, it is FMVSS 218 certified or DOT. I'm going to start with the outside of the helmet and kind of go through my first impressions of it. To start with, it has really good venting, both open and closed. And the key here is having them closed that they don't let air come in. So when you're riding in warm weather, there's a chin vent that, besides closed, has two open settings. So one detent, two detents. It's pretty glove friendly. You only have to press. You don't have to pull or hook your thumb on anything. So I like the fact that you can do one and two different settings, even with heavy, bulky gloves on. The top vents. So I'm going to go through the center of the helmet. The top vents, when they are forward, they are closed. When they're both rearward, they're open. The top vent in the front really surprised me. I was expecting there to be a lot of wind turbulence when it was closed, because as you can see, there's a bit of a hook here where wind can catch in there and have turbulence. It's surprisingly quiet. It was a lot quieter than I was expecting it to be. And then the rear exhaust vent, I put an X and an O on there so I would remember which way is open and closed. So with it closed, they're both forward. With it open, they're both rearward. In addition to the top vent and the chin vent, there's also brow vents. So on each side, there's a brow vent that allows air into your forehead. With all of the vents open in warm Florida weather, I was pretty impressed with the amount of airflow. In cold Michigan weather, since this is the cold season, with all of the vents closed, I was also pretty impressed with how warm the helmet is. And that leads to the next characteristic, which I'd like to point out. This helmet has a pin lock face shield. So it's designated here, pin lock. The advantage of a pin lock helmet, and you can sort of see it in the video, is that it has a second shield on the inside. So it has the main outer face shield and then a pin on either side that this insert fits into. The insert is just a thin plastic piece that has a rubber membrane all the way around it. When in place properly in that membrane up against the outer face shield, it creates an air pocket, similar to like what you have in the insulation in your house. That air pocket allows for a temperature gradient between the outside and the inside, so much so that when you breathe, it doesn't fog up your windshield in cool or humid weather. So that was an excellent find. I've been using pin lock face shields over my last two helmets, and I'm really quite pleased with it. This helmet, or this face shield, also is easily removable. I'm going to remove it so we can dive into the inside, but it comes off quite easily, and then it just presses in with a snap. But there's a lever on either side that, when pressed, releases the face shield. So two presses and off it comes. To reinstall, you just put it on there and press, and it snaps back in place. I'm going to leave it off, like I said, to go over some of the other features of the helmet. To start with, the helmet itself, it is a modular helmet. So I'm going to show you the articulation of it. And what's interesting, if you watch the hinge, is how it actually opens. So when you open it, it doesn't have a single pivot point. It has a full articulation that brings the chin bar closer to the head of the helmet, or closer to the main body of the helmet. HJC professes that this helmet can also be worn as a 3/4 helmet with the chin bar in the up position. So if you notice, the curtain on the chin fits up against the top of the helmet and prevents wind turbulence from catching the chin bar. So that's quite impressive. And as you open and close it, that piece will retract upon closure. So it's intentionally hinged. One nice thing about it is it gives you room for your chin as it collapses down and closes over your face. When operating in the upright position, it also has a lock to hold it in that position. So you press up on this red tab on the left-hand side, and the chin bar stays in place. To release it, you just press this rearward, the gray piece rearward, and it comes down as expected. Another advantage of this helmet is it has a built-in sun visor, like a lot of helmets these days do. There's a lever on the left-hand side. You pull the lever rearward, and down comes a face shield. What's nice is underneath this this cover here is the ability to adjust the orientation of that face shield. So what you can do, see if I can do this on camera, is you release this cover. There we are. So you release the cover, and there's a lever or an adjustment right here. With the helmet visor fully retracted, or the sun shield fully retracted, you have 3 positions, 1, 2, and 3. And those 3 positions equate to the orientation of the face shield. So right now I have it in the uppermost, so the face shield comes out and goes forward slightly. If we bring it back and go to the middle position, it comes out and goes forward, but not quite as far. And then lastly, in the lowest position, it comes down but does not articulate forward. This is to allow for distance to your face and different amounts of clearance between the chin bar and the sun shield. Personally, I like it so where it comes all the way down, because in my view, that gives me a little bit more sun protection when the sun is low. So that's another nice feature of the RPHA 91. So I'm going to leave it in this position. And again, this cover just goes over and covers that lever mechanism. So these covers are here for more than just the allowance for the adjustment of the face shield or the sun visor. These covers are also here because HJC and Senna have partnered up to make a communicator that fits on this and this side. So there's similar covers, and depending on the model of Bluetooth communicator, it'll either use one or both of those. As well, there's a place in the back for the battery pack. I did buy the communication system, the Bluetooth communication system, which I'll show the installation in another video. But for now, let's go ahead and move on into the inside of the helmet. All right, so as you may or may not have noticed, I have replaced on this helmet my D-ring clasp with a metal clasp that's a quick release. So this is something I got long ago. I don't remember where I got it, but it's something I've moved from helmet to helmet. It allows for quick release. The HJC helmet doesn't come with a quick release like some other premium helmets, but it does have the standard D-ring that with a pull tab that allows you to release it easy. There is a snap to catch the tail of the strap when it's all in place. All right, moving on to the inside. If you notice, around the bottom of the helmet is this curtain or skirt. This, in my opinion, is probably what makes this helmet so absolutely quiet. This skirt, and you can see that has a separate edge, rides up against the side of your neck. This can be irritating at first when you're first breaking in the helmet, but what it does is it blocks all of the air that would normally come up from the underside, either from a motorcycle with a windshield or just normal airflow. So that, I believe, is part of what makes this such a quiet helmet. When the chin bar is down, that skirt matches with the skirt or curtain on the chin bar, and this forms a pretty tight or a close seal to the underside of your chin. All right, moving on further. This is going to be a little bit more difficult to see, but if you look inside in the top of the helmet, you'll see there are ribs that run along the top in the crown portion. Those are directly in line with the holes from the vent. So as I was saying, when you open the top front and the top rear vent, it pulls air through pretty quick. And then when you open and close the brow vents, that air comes in up underneath and is channeled up next to the crown. So with all of the vents open, it does cool you quite well. Also, if you look inside, there are ear covers. Right now they're foam. Ear covers are in place. I'm going to remove those when I put the communication system in, but the combination of the premium soft padding, the ear holes with pads, and this skirt or curtain along the bottom, I believe that's what makes this such a quiet helmet. Overall, from a comfort standpoint, it is an intermediate oval. I have a narrow, long head, probably closer to a regular oval than an intermediate oval. So when I first tried this on, there was a little bit of pressure on the forehead section. That's pretty common with other HJC helmets that I've worn. In this case, there's a seam that is right along the top of the cushion. So all I did was I pressed that into the helmet a little bit and softened it up, and I haven't had an issue with comfort. So if your head is a intermediate oval, this helmet should fit fine. One thing that I found interesting is depending on the helmet brand, I wear anywhere from a large to an extra large. When on the HJC website, I measured my head and I was right at the top line of a large helmet. So this is their large helmet. And when I first tried it on, I thought it was going to be too small. After wearing it for a few hundred miles, it broke in nicely. It is comfortable, it is quiet, and I'm quite pleased with the fit. So when trying on an HJC helmet, make sure you measure your head the way they recommend, and from there, choose the correct size. You might wear a large or an extra large or a medium or a small. In other brands, go by their sizing template and order what truly fits. So that completes my initial assessment of the HJC modular helmet. Like I said, overall, I'm quite pleased with it. It is comfortable, it fits well, and I would highly recommend it for anyone looking for a premium modular helmet. It is comfortable, it is quiet, and compared to other helmets on the market in this segment, it's a pretty good value. All right, so that concludes my video today on the HJC RPHA 91, the RPHA 91 modular helmet. Thanks for watching. If you'd like, please like and subscribe this channel. Hit the bell, you'll be notified of more content. Give me a thumbs up if you like what you've seen. And as always, thanks for watching. Go far with Brent.